We have 6 fragrances to take you from designer fragrances into niche fragrances. If you haven't ever purchased a niche fragrance, these are 6 great options to get you started. Starting off with MANCERA, this is Cedric Intense. I could have gone for the original version, but this is the new Intense version, and to be honest, I think it's a better purchase. You get more fragrance for your money. So Cedric is seen as an alternative to Creed Aventus. Cheaper, maybe a bit woodier, a bit of a different fragrance, but similar in style to Aventus. But Cedric Intense, for me, doesn't have a whole lot of similarities to Aventus. It's its own fragrance on its own, and it shouldn't be compared to Aventus. This is very fruity. You've got citruses, blackcurrant, and a lot of woody notes. You also have oud and leather that is listed in the note breakdown of this, but it's not something you can pick up, or at least I can't pick them up on their own as individual notes. It might just give the fragrance some backbone, and it will give it some strength and power, which is what we want when we're wearing these expensive niche fragrances. But this is a beautiful fragrance. MANCERA fragrances sometimes can be a bit harsh in the opening, maybe not so smooth, but this one is not like that. This is very smooth, really well blended, and it's an expensive smelling fragrance. So a great niche fragrance to start you off with, Cedric Intense. Sticking with fresher fragrances for number 2, this is Pico di Amalfi from ACQUA de Parma. So ACQUA de Parma, a really good niche house to get into when you're just starting out your niche fragrance collection. This for me is my personal favourite in this blue Mediterranean line. This has the note of fig in it, so it's very interesting. It's different to perhaps what you'd have smelt before, especially in designer fragrances. And this fragrance just makes me so happy. It transports me to a sunnier place. It transports me to a holiday spot, maybe on the Mediterranean coast. And that is what is so amazing about fragrances. Yes, we want to smell good. We might want to get some positive attention from other people. But what fragrances can do, they can literally put you in a better mood. And that is what this does for me. It puts me in a better mood and transports me to a better place. Pico di Amalfi might do the same for you. It's a beautiful smelling fragrance. I would say it's summer, spring and summer exclusive. Wouldn't bother wearing it in the winter. It's not powerful enough. But if you're looking for your first niche fragrance, this could be a good choice. Pico di Amalfi. Number 3, one of the best niche fragrances there is, in my opinion. This is Zergoff Nautilus. So this is a really popular one to pick up for as your first niche fragrance. It's one that you will hear of, like Leighton, like Aventus. It's one of those popular fragrances that you'll just hear of as you're getting into your fragrance journey. NAXOS is a sweet tobacco fragrance in its heart, but it also has one of the best openings that I've ever smelled in a fragrance. It's bergamot and lavender. It's really realistic, it's relaxing, it's a beautiful opening, and one of the best things about NAXOS is the transition from that juicy, fresh, aromatic opening into this sweet tobacco. It changes. You've got this honey and tobacco in the dry down, which is beautiful, and it makes this perfect for the winter, but then the opening makes you think of spring and summer. So you could almost wear this year round. I would say if you're going to wear it in the higher weather, don't go too heavy on the sprays because you might choke people out because it's quite sweet. But it could be an all-round fragrance. It could be, I wouldn't bother wearing these fragrances as a signature because they're quite expensive, but you could potentially wear this to most occasions. It's going to suit and it's going to smell absolutely fantastic. So really good entry-level niche fragrance, Zergoff Nautilus. Now in at joint fourth are both from Louis Vuitton. I know Louis Vuitton is a designer fragrance brand, but because of the quality and the price, I always include them in my niche fragrance lists because they're not designer fragrances to me. They're too expensive, they're too high quality. So in at number 4, we have La Immensity by Louis Vuitton and Imagination by Louis Vuitton. These are both excellent fragrances. Let's start off with La Immensity. This is a very classy, sophisticated fragrance, and you will smell like a successful businessman if you wear La Immensity. This has grapefruit, this has ginger, it is very fresh and aquatic almost, and you've got ambroxan as well, which is going to really elevate this off the skin and project nicely, and will fill you with this scent bubble that is going to project in the most perfect way. The ginger gives this energy, and the grapefruit gives this zesty vibrancy. It's a beautiful fragrance. Again, this is definitely a signature scent worthy if you want to spend that money on a signature fragrance to wear every day. If not, I'd save this for your formal occasions when you want something extra special to stand out. Now, Imagination, on the other hand, is similar. It has a similar style, but it smells completely different. This focuses much more on the citrusy notes. This is more of a summer exclusive fragrance. This is lots of different citruses. You've got a hint of cinnamon, spiciness, and then you've got this black tea note in the dry down. But this for me is probably my favourite out of the two. It just smells so photorealistic, zesty citrus, and every time I smell it, I just am blown away by how beautiful it smells. This again, like La Immensity, projects really well and will give you this nice aura of a very expensive smelling scent bubble. So we're down to the last two fragrances then for niche fragrances to start your niche fragrance journey. This is Angel Share. It's a beautiful date night fragrance. It smells almost edible because you've got praline in here. Praline, tonka bean will give it this sweetness, cinnamon, a slight hint of spiciness, but you've also got this boozy liquor note in the opening, which of course Killian Hennessy are famous for, but it's beautiful. It's very well rounded, well blended, and it's one of those fragrances that just smell so comforting. This reminds me of Christmas, reminds me of winter, so not really for summer or spring at all, although arguably you could wear this in the summer evenings and get away with it because it's just so beautiful. But it's not heavy cloying sweetness, it's almost like just smooth and delicate, but a beautiful fragrance, and the bottle is outstanding as well. I don't normally mention packaging in my video reviews because I don't find it all that interesting, but the bottle is absolutely beautiful, and that on your desk, that on your bookshelf or something, just looks like it's an awesome aesthetic product, and the smell backs up how good the bottle looks. So this would be my number 2 Killian Angel Share. Now number 1 is a very special fragrance to me, and of course it's going to be if it's at number 1. This is Parfums de Marly's Carlisle. And if I had to start my niche fragrance journey again, or I only had designer fragrances and wanted my first niche one, this would be my number 1 pick. You might be wondering why not Layton. I just don't particularly rate the newer version of Layton so much anymore. The quality is not there for me in Layton anymore, and I often don't even wear it. But Carlisle, on the other hand, is a beautiful fragrance, and I never get bored of it. So the notes of Carlisle, you've got nutmeg, green apple, very beautiful, spicy, juicy opening, and then you've got patchouli and vanilla in the dry down. This also has a tobacco-like note. It's not listed, but for me it really reminds me of a tobacco fragrance. So we might wear fragrances for ourselves, we might wear them to get compliments. It might be something you're into, trying to attract attention from other people. Now it might work for you, it might not. I don't particularly receive many compliments. It's not really why I wear fragrances. But some fragrances come along, like Carlisle, that give you added confidence. Now of course fragrances can't do anything more than make us smell good, but in some circumstances, like Carlisle, they can give you confidence, and that can be invaluable. If you dress up nicely and you need just that something extra to make you feel on top of your game, wearing something like Carlisle can do that for you. It certainly does that for me. It just gives me that added confidence that can really go a long way in social situations. So Carlisle is a beautiful, smooth, strong, but not overpowering fragrance. It smells very expensive, it smells high quality, and it smells like luxury. It's not a spring summer fragrance. We're looking at the colder months, or again summer evenings to wear this, and not signature scent worthy for me. It's too special. I save this for special occasions when I want that confidence we spoke about, and when I want to be noticed and make an impression. So these were 7 fragrances that could help you start your niche fragrance collection. If you've only got designer fragrances, these could really be a great start to your niche fragrance journey. Let me know which fragrances out of these you would pick.